Hey guys, how's it going? This is Robert Syslo here, Director of Production for Grant Cardone TV. I want to welcome you to another episode of Axe the Pro. And this week I have a really interesting guest. His name is Marshall Terrin. Amazing guy. One of the guys that's actually advertising on our network for his company, True Stim. We'll get into what that business is. Marshall has a pretty incredible story. Iraqi war veteran. Went from basically broke to owning a $4 million business and now is skyrocketing and continuing forward. Marshall, thank you so much for joining us. How you doing?
Doing great, man. It's an honor to be on the show. I can't tell you enough.
I appreciate that. You're going to come down here live, and he's going to do another studio. I just wanted to introduce him to you guys. He's doing a 12-month advertising campaign with us, and he's also hooked up on the #1 sales training platform in the world, Cardone University, right now. So, Marshall, thanks for coming. I wanted to talk to you today. Really, I want to get to know who you are and what you're about. So where did you start? How did things start for you? Tell us about little Marshall.
Yeah, so I joined the military at 17. I got out in 2008 when I was at the age of 21. So 2008 was a rough year for anybody in the military, the transition, obviously. So at that point, life kind of kicked me in the teeth, and I had a really hard time transitioning. At that point, we started a lot of different things. I hopped around jobs a lot. I actually sold cars for a little bit, running restaurants for, food running in a restaurant, until we stumbled across the really basic version of the product that we're selling now, which we started really pushing and starting to get into the business in about 2008.
All right. So you had a hard time transitioning. What was the hardest thing you had to face during that time?
I think for a big thing with the veteran community is going from, for example, for me, being a sergeant in the Marine Corps, from coming back from war in March, transitioning back in August, and then, going from an environment where it was literally a fight for, if a grenade fell, it would be a fight for who gets to jump on it. Whereas you go, for guys that are transitioning, it goes from much more of a cutthroat, less teamwork, more everybody out for themselves environment for a lot of jobs that are out there. So that's really hard for a lot of guys that get out. It's hard to get used to because you just don't have that level of trust with your coworkers that you would your brothers that are in your unit.
Got it. Totally understand. So where was the turning point for you? At one point you said, hey, you know what? I need to make this thing succeed. I just came out of this, lifestyle where it was a battle every single day. I come back to America, civilian life. They don't even know really what's happening or what I've really been through. And you were having a hard time. What was the turning point that led you to where you are today with your company, True Stim, and the money and success that you've actually achieved? What was that one pivotal moment?
The birth of my daughter and holding her for the first time.
Really?
Absolutely. It was like an instant moment, holding her for the first time. It's at the age of 22, having a child, it was kind of like I knew that I was going to be put on this earth to be a good father. I try every day, to be that. But, for anybody, especially that young, or even becoming a father for the first time, it's like you change almost instantly. It's like, okay, now I have to look after this child. I have to provide for this child, and I'm going to make sure that my child's life or childhood is 1,000 times better than mine was.
Excellent. Well, that's good. So what? So you had your child. What's her name? What's your daughter's name?
Talia.
Talia. Very cool. I like that. So you had Talia. You had a wife. You guys are getting ready to move. Where did the idea for True Stim come from? And tell the audience what True Stim is. Yeah.
So True Stim is a over-the-counter neurological muscle stimulator. Okay, so it's very similar to what your basic TENS unit is on the market, except for that we're combining nerve stimulation, muscle stimulation, and microcurrent all in one machine, where traditionally you would need one type of machine for one type of therapy. So there's a tremendous need right now for the product. There's with the insurance crisis that's kind of happening in America, where not a lot of people are insured. They don't really have access to this kind of technology, and especially this premium type of technology that's much higher quality.
Got it. So it's muscle stimulation. Go into that a little bit. Just how does that work? And, for the audience, I don't know if they know really a lot of the terms you threw out there. So just as the layman, what benefit would I get from using the product?
Absolutely. So it's going to do two things. It is going to relieve your pain without any kind of narcotics or drugs. Okay. It's also going to increase muscle performance. Very good for recovery after workouts, warming up before a workout, and actually strengthening muscles. So there's a wide range of uses from someone who is a CrossFitter versus someone who is, for example, there's a clinical study that was done with people with OCPD that has strengthened their quads. That way, because they can't really work out anymore because they're breathing, but they're actually using it to strengthen muscle tissue, even though they can't work out anymore at that age and with that type of ailment.
So it's a safe alternative to muscle rebuilding, muscle enhancement, without using any type of thing that you're actually injecting into the body.
Yeah, so nothing beats going to the gym, obviously, but this is a great tool to increase the benefits from going to the gym. But when it comes to a safer alternative, when you get to the pain relief aspect of it, you can use this without the use of any kind of narcotics. I've had customers where we sold them a device and their mother came back around and gave us a hug and are in tears because they're so afraid of what Oxycontin and all these hard drugs are doing to her. So it's genuinely the perfect solution to kind of an over-medicating pharmaceutical industry that we have today.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff going on. I'm totally against it myself. It causes so many problems, and people say the same thing. They're often afraid of what the effect of those types of drugs would be. So you found a way to really solve a problem, to bypass the medication and big pharma and all that stuff, and provide a solution that works. So what you started this when, in 2008?
In 2008 is when I got involved with the industry, yes.
And you've been in business, what is that? That's almost 6 years now?
That's running on about 8.
8 years, got it. Yeah. So when you first started, what were some of the things you had to overcome with the business as an entrepreneur?
Everything. In 2008, I opened my first mall kiosk with a little bit of money that I had and had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to sell. I didn't know how to manage finances. I didn't know anything. So it lasted maybe 2 months before it kind of collapsed. Then I got into the wholesale side of it, distribution side of it, before I gave it another go at actually retail ourselves, which is our flagship stores in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Got it. So you sell the product primarily through mall kiosks.
So there's a couple different ways. Right now, the mall kiosks are one of the most underutilized. It's a huge opportunity for a lot of people. And then there's also taking orders at different trade shows and expos and events.
But I'm just curious, why did you pick? I'm just curious why you picked the mall kiosk to sell it. What was the positioning there? I know there's a little bit of strategy. I think I know why, but I want to hear your version. No,
absolutely. The rents are tremendously cheaper than an inline store. With a mall kiosk, you're in the common area, so you have 2 lanes of shoppers walking by. Every day there's somebody that's going to the mall. They're on their way to the Apple store to figure something out or to fix something with their phone or buy something that's new. And then they walk by our kiosk and get a chance to be exposed to our product. So when you're in a mall environment, there's really no advertising expense because the mall does it for you. The mall brings people there for you. And one thing that I love about it, we're kind of like the underdogs of retail.
Yeah.
Nobody really takes the carts and kiosk business very seriously. So someone who's very proficient, very professional can really thrive in it and kind of being a bigger fish in a little pond, because if you operate with character, if you operate with skill, with sales skills and the whole 9 yards, and make your customers feel like they're buying something instead of being sold something, you can be extremely successful in this industry.
I got it. So you've really utilized, and Grant talks about this a lot too, he uses as many platforms as he can to get people to find him. So he uses Facebook. I was just having the thought that a mall was like the pre-Facebook, the pre-Twitter spot, because everybody went there. So you've actually taken advantage of that setup, which is awesome. So as far as the company is concerned, how much are you guys on track to make this year?
We're going to end the year anywhere between 4 and 5 in retail sales alone, between 4 million and 5 million just in retail. The distribution side of the house is going to do about 6 to 7 million in wholesale.
Wow, that's amazing. So how many people do you have working for you right now? Because I know you're in the process of recruiting and expanding, and if you guys are looking for an opportunity to get involved with Marshall and his team, he is looking for people to hire, so you could check it out. TrueStim.com/careers is a spot where they could go?
Absolutely.
Perfect. But yeah, so continue. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, it's fine. So right now we have about 53 of W-2 employees and independent contractors on payroll right now.
Got it. And you're looking to 10x that number, right?
Oh yeah,
absolutely. So as a business owner, you talked about, working in this particular environment. It's the underdog of the sales space because no one really utilizes it or take it seriously. And you're going right where people are at. How important are those skills as a salesperson, the character of the salesperson, the integrity of the salesperson, to actually providing a service and helping other people in your specific industry?
It's everything. With the right discipline level, the right sales skills, a sales rep can go out and they can make $100,000 a year. I mean, I have managers and partners in these mall kiosks that are making $100,000 plus a year. And we joke about it, we laugh about it because there's people that will walk by our locations and are afraid to make eye contact, or they're like, oh, it's just a mall kiosk guy, avoid the mall kiosk guy, but they're making triple or quadruple what they're making. And then I have a saying that I always say is that, if I could have a product that cures cancer, it could legitimately cure cancer, but if I put it on a mall kiosk, people are going to just run away from it. And say, oh no, it's on a mall kiosk, and that's what it's just crazy because once you get their attention and they try the product and they rate their pain from like a 9 and they leave with the pain rating down to like a 2, and they don't need to use hard narcotics anymore or lay off of the Tylenol and the Advil. And I mean, ultimately, we're really changing lives. We're changing the lives of the quality of life for our customers, and we're changing the quality of life for our sales reps and our partners that are getting into the business.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So with that said, I got a lot out of this today. I learned about, hey, get the attention. How do you guys bust through attention with that? I mean, you said people walk by and they're like, oh, it's the mall kiosk people. I need to stay away from them. How do you guys bypass that and actually interact with people? What's the trick? What's the skill set you guys use?
So it's kind of, there's a lot of different things that go into play here. You have to have a really attractive, good-looking professional display. Your staff has to be in uniform and not looking like they're going out to the nightclub. And then you smile and don't be a jerk. Just making direct eye contact, smiling and say, hey, how are you? Have you seen this before? As opposed to running them down, trying to get them to just, take a free sample. There's a lot of different ways, but long story short, this is real sales we're talking about.
This is not phone stuff.
If you're a car dealer or a car salesman and you think you're good at sales, like you have people walking on your lot. Wait, put yourself in an environment where people are going to a venue not to find you at all, or not even, they're going there for the Apple store or whatever, and they have no idea that you're there. That's a completely different game than have somebody walking into your store, onto your lots, or whatever. So I mean, the skills that people get working in this type of industry are life skills that are going to take them places so much farther in their life. That's going to apply not even in this industry, but in business and other sales jobs. I tell people that whenever we hire them, I don't want somebody who's happy making $8 an hour. Even if you leave after a year or two, you better be getting a job that is going to be doing something you're happier doing with, but something that is going to be making a lot more money than what you're currently doing here, or maybe you're happier doing. Don't leave this job and go to McDonald's.
I got it. Yeah, because you guys are providing a good opportunity. Well, the biggest things I took out of this was, you got to get attention. You're in an industry where deliberately people don't see you. They don't see you. So it's your job to get their attention, say hello, be professional, smile, have a good display, keep your integrity, which is always important in sales, have a good character, and always skill up, which Marshall trains his people on how to do. So Marshall, you guys can follow him. Check out his website, TrueStim.com. He's advertising with us. He'll be down here in the studios next month. Marshall, how can people follow you?
Absolutely. The best thing to do is search Marshall W. Terrin on Facebook. I'm also on Twitter as well, just Marshall Terrin, all one word.
Marshall Terrin, all one word. Excellent. Well, Marshall, I really appreciate you joining us. As guys, this is Robert signing off. Another episode of Ask the Pro. Every week, Grant and I interview somebody that's a professional in their industry that are sharing the expertise, the skills, the knowledge, and the techniques to help you guys be better in your industry, in your market, and in your space. Stay tuned until next time. Have a great one.